Why building the right team is so important to your business. That's next on StonePark Podcast, Dream, Build, Connect. Hello, hello. I'm your host, David. Across from me is my co-host, Carlos. Carlito.
What's up?
Do people call you Carlito?
They call me Carlito's way.
Do they?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the film?
Yeah. It's a cool film, man. Cool film.
I love
Definitely.
that film.
Pacino, man, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that film. That's, Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
Yeah.
You got Pachanga,
Yeah.
his boy that messed him up at the end. And he kind of ties into this whole theme of, who you pick for your team.
Yeah.
So it's funny that movie comes up. Let's get into it. Carlos, in business, do you believe one can make it on their own? Lone wolf style.
Lone wolf.
Yep.
Man, it can be tough. It's possible, but tough. Being that, you would have to wear all the hats. You would be responsible for everything. And, you won't be able to maximize, your responsibilities in each, category or whatever position to its full potential, just because, your mind is going to be everywhere at once.
I agree. But in the beginning, I think it's necessary because that's when you learn everything.
Yeah.
And then that is when you learn that I need some help.
Yeah.
I need a team. I need someone to do this. I need someone to take care of this because I'm not really good at it. But by you wearing all the hats, one, you find out what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you want to do, right? Because this is your show. Why are you doing the things that you don't want to do, right? You want to focus on the thing that you're talented at. Maybe it's creating something. Maybe it's the marketing, whatever it is. You want to focus just on that. And then you want to bring people, right, that are passionate that can help you get to the next level. So I agree. Many hats, but in the beginning, necessary. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're on my side in terms of needing a team, though.
Yeah, you always need a team.
Okay.
It's better.
Which leads me to this. How long does it take for you to trust someone? Now, I'm not talking about in your personal life, right? You have a team, some new member comes in, right? What's the feeling about that as far as trust goes?
As far as trust, well, I don't have really a time clock on it. I just know. It's just kind of like intuition. It's just a feeling. It's just an instinct. But I just pay attention to patterns and just kind of go off that. But I don't actually have a time, or I've never thought about it. I've seen it through with a time.
1 year for me.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 year. I think 1 year, if they're still with you, right? Yeah. Because they could have already bounced.
Right.
But 1 year, you're over the honeymoon phase. You're over the, I've only been here for, a few months. You're over that. They kind of, like you said, their patterns and their behaviors.
Yeah.
You probably have already had a disagreement with them. You know a little more about them. Yeah. Usually when people come on, they just show you the nice stuff, right? After the 6, 7, 8 month mark, they start showing you a little.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta go through a disagreement or some type of argument at least once to kind of see how do they react to stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Which brings me to my next question: the traits. All right, the traits. So let's be positive here. Good traits. What good traits are you looking for? What are those traits that you must have in a teammate and a worker?
Dependable, somebody that's definitely, that shows up. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's there, and honesty, just honest,
That's huge for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Just tell me you messed up. Just tell me. Just
that's what I'm saying.
Let's get over it.
Just be honest.
But sometimes, let's say you're the boss, right? Sometimes it's hard for someone to come out and just say, hey, especially when they're new, come out and say, hey, I messed up, because that could be a make or break in some situations, right? You mess up 1-2 times, hey, this isn't going to work. So it's almost like...
Yeah, but that also shows a lot of character.
It does.
Because
with the right person, right?
With the right boss that could see that.
I agree. I agree.
So, but I mean, it is a gamble to come out just off the jump and be like, oh man, I messed up and admit, but it's also... It shows a lot of character. I
agree. I'm like that too. If you tell me the truth, we can get over the situation. But if I know you're lying, that sucks. If I find out, it tarnishes the relationship.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying honesty is just one, man. Because it is just kind of like, man,
My big one is passion. So what the reason why. And our example here is we're doing everything right now, right? You're wearing all the hats, and it's come to the point where I need someone. I need a team around me to make a move to the next level. So the people that you bring on board, they got to be passionate about what you're pitching to them, right? So they can have all the qualifications on their resume, but if you're not feeling that passion from them, why would you want to bring them on board, right? So another thing is passionate about the things that I don't want to take care of. So if I want to be on the creative side and I want someone to take care of the marketing, someone comes in and they want to own this marketing. They're coming up with ideas on the fly, like we could do this, we could do that. I'm thinking in my head, this is awesome. You can just run with that. I don't even need to be over you. I could take care of this, you take care of that. So it's the passion for the project, and they're making your dreams, their dreams. That's really what it is. So I look for passion. And the other thing is positivity, right? I'm in the middle, right? I could be negative or I could be positive.
Yeah.
That's not a great trait of mine. I don't need anyone else's negativity. I got a lot of BS going on.
Yeah.
So for someone to bring their stuff to the team and bring down the team, and it could be some sneaky stuff too. Like, let's say they're being nice towards me and acting a certain way towards me, but then behind the scenes, they're,
someone else. Yeah.
Just bringing, and you don't want to be a rat. You don't want to, we're grown people here. Hey, they're making me feel a certain way or this and that. So you're just kind of eating it in a team.
Yeah.
And especially with your baby, the company that you're creating that is going to provide for you, you don't want that happening. You want positivity. Now, it's not going to be perfect, right? You are going to get in disagreements, debates, all that stuff.
Right.
But if you have control over picking that person, positivity, right? And sometimes you can't see that. Sometimes it's all positive in the beginning. And that's why I was saying a year, right? Because you can...
Yeah, you get a chance to go through all the patterns and just kind of see. Yeah.
So
I agree 100%.
Give me two that you want to avoid, 2 traits.
2 traits. A lot of call outs. So, I mean, I guess that kind of goes. Yeah, I guess that kind of ties in with the being dependable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need you there, as long as you can, you're there, and negativity. I mean, you kind of, touched on that, you don't want, it's contagious, a smile is contagious.
That's true.
As well as negativity, you know what I mean? If that energy does rub off, and if you have somebody that's going to be infecting the squad, man, gotta go.
Yeah. How about passive aggressiveness?
Well, yeah, that's another one. You know what I mean?
That's for me, that's the worst.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because that takes a smart person to kind of...
And that's like a sneaky one.
It's a sneaky one, because you could look at passive aggressiveness as, oh, okay, like they're trying to make me feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
If that person calls you out, or I'm sorry, the person that's getting hit, hey man, why are you acting like that? The other person can be like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't mean it like that. Mm-hmm. So there's no proof that that's actually going on. It's a feeling you get,
Yeah.
a feeling we get as human beings. You know when someone's trying to be passive aggressive, and it's some smug stuff.
Yeah.
And that, it's like I put us on like a meter. So you're at 100 right now. We're at 100, me and you, right? 100.
Yeah.
Because we're happy, doing our podcast, chatting. We're at 100.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say we had a disagreement and we were fighting right before and we're, your meter is going to go down. So now you're at 75. I'm like at 85. Is that what we really want to work on? So we want to jump on the podcast when we're not at 100. The same thing with any type of project. You as the leader, as the boss, right? You got to make sure that everyone's at 100.
Yeah.
So if you got this guy, woman, man, whoever, that is bringing people down on the sneak, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's so important. The team that you build is going to give you the opportunity to be successful, but it could also just bring it all down.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree with that. Definitely. Right. Yeah, the workplace, man, it's contagious. You know what I mean? It'll definitely, like, it's like wildfire, man. Like, if it's negative, it seems like negativity, man, will catch more and spread faster than positivity.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know why, but that's the way it works. So if you start seeing that in your workplace, man, you got to cut it quick.
Yeah. And sometimes you're so busy that you might not see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tricky when it comes to teams, because sometimes someone could be telling you something that's not true, or maybe it's from their eyes. So they believe it's true, but it's not true. Right? And then you start looking at someone a different way. It's very tricky. And that's why you can't just hire everybody. Right? And you just can't be the lone wolf. You could, but you're just not going to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So
there's a ceiling to it, like you said.
Yeah, totally. So bringing on friends and family. I remember you had mentioned the family. We were talking about, I think, American Gangster.
Yeah.
And Denzel went ahead and got his family because, they were in a legal game and he could only trust his family, right? But we're not doing anything illegal, and hopefully those that are listening are in legal businesses.
Right.
What do you think about bringing on friends and family?
Friends and family, it's a little tricky because it could be beneficial, because starting a business, they can be the ones that can help you. They can help you, but at the same time, it can break you or bring you unnecessary stress from, entitlement and mixing the friendship or family, being, thinking that they can get away with certain things that typically you wouldn't be okay with, or they think that, they can talk to you a certain way, maybe joke with you a certain way in front of others that maybe you would be okay with out of work, but then they don't know when to maybe stop or don't do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're a teen, well, I don't know, maybe in my case, and you're like probably saying bad words around your friends, and you're like, oh yeah, man, but then when you come home, you don't talk like that in front of your mom, and you're like, oh. But then when you go with your friends, you're like, yeah, bro, yeah, you want to act a little crazy with your friends.
Yep.
So same thing. It's like, you're at the workplace, can't do that, man. You know what I mean? Like, we're at work, you know what I mean? And I'm your boss, you know what I mean? So there is a fine line, man, and it's tough. You know what I mean? You might want to give them the opportunity to give them employment because, you want to help, right? But then,
Yeah, I got a couple examples. So one, I got a unicorn example. Mike's brother, Evan, he's a unicorn because his passions line up with mine.
Yeah.
He's super, super, super smart. He's almost like Mike, right? And Mike is like MacGyver. Mike is the one.
Yeah.
So Evan's a bad man. You know, he can get things done. So when we were doing One Penny, I could honestly say if we didn't have Evan, the movie doesn't get made.
That was an awesome movie.
Thank you. But he's a leader. He can blend. He doesn't have pride like that. Like he's not, he'll do any type of work. And I think it goes back to the passion that he's passionate about that film the way that I am. And I call him family. I know he's Mike's brother, but I call him my brother too. That's a example where family does work because I trust him completely, right? Plus he has the skills and the talent. He could hold his own, and then he just brings something to the table. Like, so to me, that's the unicorn example. As far as just bringing family in, it's tough because if they don't have the passion, if they don't have the talent, they might use, I'm not getting paid enough. I got to get out of here. Right? That's my brother. That's my cousin. It's all good.
Yeah.
As a business owner, you're not effing around. You're just not. Like it's just things are played a little differently when it comes to especially your business, when you're putting your money on the line. A lot of people don't know that a lot of the business owners don't get paid. They're paying their employees, their subs, their workers, whoever, so that everyone can survive, but they're not getting paid. Yeah. So you as a business owner have to understand that. Why would you want to bring someone in that is just going to be weak sauce? That's not going to have passion. That's not going to, I want to say fight for you, but work for you with passion and really be there for you. Or they're just collecting a check.
Yeah.
So it just makes it a little weird when it's family, unless they have the passion. Because you want to help them out. Oh, you're helping me out because I trust you. I'm helping you out because you need a job. But is there a time frame for that? I don't know. Like maybe, okay, do this for a year, this and that. But small business, you want to make sure you're getting the right people. When it comes to friends, I did that at a young age. When we were flipping houses, we decided to hire our friends. And the biggest thing is we trusted them. And it worked. I mean, we could trust them. Where the problem lies is the ego. And it's not just me, it's not just them, it's just us. Because you're going from friends equal, right? Everything's equal when you're a friend. When I'm now saying that I'm your boss and I'm telling you to do certain things, it's a little awkward for me, but I got to do it because, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And it might be awkward for them because, hey, we were equals just, last night kicking beers or whatever. And now I'm telling you, hey, man, you got to come in on time. You got to do this. You got to do that. It throws everything off. It takes a unicorn like Evan to work with people like that.
That's true, man. I had that experience here too. You know what I mean? We hired a friend of mine that I know from back at school.
StonePark?
Yeah, StonePark. Yeah, we had it here, and dude didn't like that. I told him, hey, man, we have to do this. They have to do that, and it's like,
yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you think you this, you think you that, and it's just kind of like. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? You know what I mean? Like, and it, it's just bye.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks, dude. Like,
it does suck.
It ruins, it ruins friendships. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Like, these guys, man, they need to understand that there's no, it's a difference, man. Like, out and about is friends and family, fine, but when it's work, man, work is work, man. It's a totally different environment.
Yeah, and then you changed, and
it's just different responsibilities.
Like, who are you? And you don't do anything, and then those type of things come from. How about this? when that's said from someone you care about, it does hurt. And I know business is business, like, hey man, get out of here or whatever, but we all got hearts. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's someone that you just hire and you're trying them out and then they're talking junk, okay, you need to leave.
Right. But
when it's a family member or a friend and they have certain feelings and their feelings are valid, if you're talking to a sane individual, what they're feeling is the same way you're feeling.
Right.
They're feeling passionate about it's the same thing. But kind of going back to the meter, it's like, I want everyone at 100. If we're all working at 80 and then we're getting in arguments and now we're at 70 and 50 and you're like flicking me off every time I turn around, that's not the environment.
Right.
It's just not. It's just not. So when do you know it's right? When does it click for you? Because I know you've owned businesses, you've had people under you. When do you know? Like what situation have you been in where you see a person, you're like, yeah, this is it. I've been throwing it at you. I'll answer mine. When I've given a task and now, like, let's say I come up with a formula to take care of this, or I come up with a checklist. Like, here's a checklist, make sure that these things are done. Mm-hmm. Make sure you contact this person, make sure this is paid, blah, 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 right? I know that things are clicking when this is changed. And then when I look at the change, it's more efficient because the person that I gave it to saw like what I was doing, like, okay, this can be done better, faster, more efficient. And I also know things are clicking when things are happening without me even knowing. Let's use real estate for an example. When you guys would get inspections without me and we'd pass. So the next time I'm going to the property, you guys are already drywalling and I'm like, oh, did you guys get the insulation inspection? Yeah, we got it. The checklist is right there. And I'm looking at it. You guys did the rough-in. Yeah. And the trick is
once even sold already, David. Where you been at?
Right. Yeah. So what that does is it obviously creates trust.
Yeah.
Right. That you guys can do it without me. And that's another thing that you could hire someone and it's more work for you. Right. So knowing that they might not know it, or they're not as passionate as what you want them to be.
Yeah, it's always in the back of your mind.
You're constantly going over them and saying, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? And sometimes being that micromanager takes a lot out of you. And it's almost like, I'll do it myself, right? Those are the things you don't want to do. Yeah. So the opposite of that, things happening without my involvement, and also no emotions. There's no thing that we're feeling in terms of, oh, this guy, like there's no anxiety.
Yeah.
That things are just kind of flowing with not only myself, but the team around me. Now, when I say team, that's kind of like the people that you see all the time. For example, my team would be you, it would be Kathy, it would be Mike, right? My team wouldn't be the guys on the project. Right. I'm a little far removed from that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about this team, like us flowing, us being efficient, us being in good spirits. That's when I know that, okay, I got the right team. Now, if there's some things that are off, that's when I'm feeling like, well, what's going on? Why is this person upset?
Yeah, and that takes your mind away from other things that you could be, worried about.
For sure.
So, yeah, I could definitely see how that, can affect, or not being, not knowing or not being ready with the right team. I agree with you. I think those are the signs too. I think anybody would agree with that the signs are when everything is moving smooth, mm-hmm. and you're not having these issues, these little bickering of like, oh, he said this, oh, she said that.
Right. And that's what I meant by the emotion. Yeah. It's just we all are doing our work. We know what lane we're in, and we're able to communicate with each other. Another thing is, I don't want to be the conduit between employees. So if someone is trying to talk to you, I don't need them to talk to me to talk to you.
Right.
I just want them to talk to you.
Right.
Leave me out of it.
Leave you alone.
Just leave. It's almost as as a boss or an owner, the trick is trying to step away. You're trying to step away so that you could do the other things to grow the business or do something else, right? So if you constantly have workers, teammates, employees, whatever you want to call them, if you constantly have them calling you and asking you questions, they're not upping their game. They're not taking the initiative to say, hey, I'll just make the call myself. Sometimes a teammate might make a boneheaded mistake. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. But they did it because they didn't want to bother you. And you gotta say, hey man, I actually appreciate that. It's, you did it wrong and this is how you actually do it. And the next time you'll get it right. But the fact that you have someone willing to do that, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so that's
initiative.
Yeah. And you don't want to have the team and still be wearing all the hats.
Yeah.
The hat has to come off, man.
That's right.
You have to give that hat, you got to give the hat off. Or you become the lone wolf and you just do it by yourself. And I've been in that situation too. Shut the F up, stop what you're doing, give it to me and I'll do it, right? And that's everything that I don't stand for. Passive aggressiveness, not being a good leader, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So people that you bring in, you got to be militant in your emotions, your feelings. And that's why I say the year. It's the year. I'm telling you, and listen to this. So look at Panchi, for example. Panchi is a subcontractor of ours. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way because he's vulgar with his jokes. And sometimes, I have limited time at the properties and he's all up in my face just saying silly stuff. I'm like, stop. So he gets the idea or the message that I'm not really messing with him. And he did some crazy mess ups at the jobs. But there was this one time that I was with my son, we were at the aquarium and I get a call from DC Water and they say, hey, you need to come to the property. We just shut your water off on your building. And there are tenants in this building, like 10 apartments. And I'm thinking, I'm just in no position to do anything. Well, what's going on? They were like, well, the sewage is backed up and we snaked it, but the clog is on your side. There's an imaginary boundary.
Yeah.
So they said, until you fix it, we are not putting on this water because, poop explosions and toilets and it's a bad look. So I don't blame them, but yeah. So I'm, literally pooping in my pants and I call you, I call Mike, I'm going crazy. And then all of a sudden, one of you guys said, don't worry, Panchi got it. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, he's there right now, man, knee deep. And all I imagine, and I know this might not be it, you were there so you could tell me, I just imagine Panchi in just a pool of poop. Just a pool of poop and like the pipes are breaking and crap is going in his eye and he's like, David, don't worry, I got you.
His phone fell in.
Man,
his phone fell that day, man.
Listen to that. The dude's phone fell in the poop.
Yeah, and he grabbed the phone. He reached in and then grabbed the phone and he was just like, oh. Man, but he was there, man, and he stuck it out, and he got the job done, man.
So look, to me, that was a moment where I let my guard down. It comes from experience. It comes from little things like that.
Yeah.
That prove to you. You need time to see a person's worth. You can't just judge him because he's saying some silly stuff at the job site.
Right.
I'm ready to fire him because I wasn't feeling him. That's such an emotional response for me. That's not being a good leader. After that, I gave him his respect and he's pulled through ever since. And it made me take off the blinders. That's another thing that you need that time. You need those experiences, kind of like what Carlos said. You need that time to argue with them or debate with them.
Yeah, I think it's important, man. You need to go through all the emotions, the good and the bad.
Right.
You need to go through those arguments or disagreements just to see how they react to it, like, what type of that, because it's to see their character, you know what I mean?
And going off of the meter scale, you want to leave at 100.
Right.
You want to leave. You don't want to have an argument, waste your time, and then this guy's holding a grudge on you. Yeah. And then it leaks out, a month later. Yeah. You guys have to handle it and really listen. Because remember, the person that you're debating with, they feel as passionate as you do. Their side is just as important.
Yeah.
So if you understand that, obviously you don't agree, but you got to figure out a way to make it happen, make it work, and get to, wherever you got to get to. So that's really important. And that, to me, takes time, because people can do a fake me out for, 6 months, 7 months. After that year, they start, open toe sandaling it, feeling a little free, feeling, confident about their position. And that's when you really see what they're about, that year mark. And also, when it comes to friends, family, there has to be passion behind it, right?
Yeah.
There has to, because this is your team. And if it does fail, it's on you. And really, it shouldn't be the friend or family. It should be the best person for the job that's going to get you to the next level. You don't owe anyone anything.
Exactly.
You don't. This is your hustle. This is your thing. This is your empire, whatever you want to call it. You don't owe anyone. Now, if you're trying to help people, that's different. But you have to understand, helping and getting to the next level is just totally different. Yeah. And people that help, a lot of times they go broke. They go broke.
MC Hammer, man.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with Hammer because I heard he's a straight up G. So he's a G. So I would let him be, and I'm sure he's doing fine right now. But yeah, I mean, he helped a lot. He helped a lot. And the thing is that if you're helping a lot of people and they're not supplying the talent that you're giving, you're the one.
Yeah.
You're the one. All the energy is going to be sucked out of you. Now, if you're helping people and they're unicorns and they're, you at the right place at the right time, they need work, they want to do what you're doing, boom. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it doesn't work out like that. Some people get lucky, but really it's about trial and error. It's about hiring people and firing people.
Yeah.
So dealing with personalities, understanding that you're not married to anybody. Sometimes you get someone on board, you feel like they're doing tons of work for you, and really it's not that, it's just, you're just comfortable. Yeah. You're just comfortable, and you have to get back to, what are you trying to do? You trying to be comfortable, which is fine, or are you trying to make it to the next level? Yeah. So going back to the A and B, the talent, right? The talent versus the loyalty.
Yep.
Let's break it down a little further. You got a talented worker, but that 12 to 18 months, they're bouncing on you. You know it. But they can take you to places, they can fix what needs to be fixed, but they will be gone. You see it in their eyes. There's no way to convince them. You just know. You got a feeling. 12, 18 months. And then you have the other person that is loyal. They got some talent, but more loyal to you and your brand and what you're trying to do and down for the cause. Which one do you pick if you had to pick one for your first employee, let's say?
Well,
and they're hungry. So they just came up to you, right? And they're like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that.
They got all the right answers.
They got all the right answers, right? And the other one's a little more, reserved. Look, I'm with you to the end. I see what you're doing. This is it. I mean, I don't have that much, but I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
So you got that.
I mean, they're both needed. A is someone that you could benefit from if like you said, that they're gonna leave, and you have a time clock on them. Try to extract whatever you can from them to try to sprinkle some of that on your other B list workers, and it shouldn't be no surprise, right? Because he's leaving. I think it sucks more when you don't expect it, and you've put in so much time and effort and in that person. I think I've said this before. It's like being in a bar, and imagine getting in a bar fight, right? And you have a friend that is a super fighter, the craziest hands, but you turn around and he's gone, and or that he's a coward, even though he knows how to fight, but he's a coward, and he just leaves you, right? And then you have somebody that he's not the best fighter at all, probably never fought in his life, but dude got a heart of a lion, you know what I mean? And he will have your back and you have his. It's mutual. It's not just a one-sided thing. You have a better chance with that guy that's just gonna, get beat up with you.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's
at least
the
take
case,
a punch.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's gonna give you a better opportunity, and same thing, vice versa, So, it doesn't matter the qualities that he may have. I think it's, matter of fact, it'll go back to the trait that you were asking me earlier. What type of trait would you like? And I was telling you being able to dependable. You know what I mean? If I can't depend on you and you're not gonna be here,
yeah,
that's it. It's worthless. So, yeah, I think A is important. If it's with a time, extract the best you can out, everything you can out of him to try to use it on your other guys. But it's worthless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think B, I would go that way. Look at championship teams. There's usually just one or two all-stars.
Yep.
If that, right? It's a bunch of role players that know their roles and go to the spot where they're needed and take care of business. That's really it. So unless you're doing something that is within that year, like a contract, like you need that pizzazz. Like, let's say this guy has crazy connections and they're going to get you here. I would go with the B. A is nice and shiny and stuff, but a year goes really quick. It goes super quick. Like at my age, a year is now going in like 2 or 3 months. Like Christmas is next month for me. That's how I feel.
We're in March already.
So it's just, I feel that a year is just too quick, and to put that much energy in a position where I'm feeling like I'm wearing all the hats and I need help and I need someone there to stabilize our situation and make it so that I can do other things. I think getting that all-star type caliber teammate, employee, whatever you want to call them, is going to set us back. It's like giving up your draft picks, for that one quarterback, but you don't have the offensive line to defend for that quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just, how is that quarterback going to be successful? You're just like now. So yeah, I'm always a fan of hard workers, people that are loyal, people that are willing to learn, people that are not always thinking of the next move. I feel that when you have a talented person, they feel their value is so much that I don't need to do this. I can go here and do that. And it's almost this tug of war. And you as a business owner, you want to convince them because you're not an idiot. You're pretty smart. So you're thinking, I can convince this person to stay and believe in the dream and this and that. No, you're not convincing them. No. You're not convincing them. You got them for a little bit, and we're saying 12 to 18 months. It could be 2 years, could be 3 years, right? But am I willing to put the effort, the time, whatever it is, into that and know that it's going to roll out? Nah. Unless, like I said, they have the connect to get you to the next level, then it's worth it. Then it's like, okay, well, at least this person got me here. Yeah, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm good.
That's what I mean. Like if you know that he's rolling out, try to extract whatever you can, just take advantage. But if you don't know nothing and he just blindsides you, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hit you with now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah, and those are the worst, man. Those are the worst. One, because again, it goes back to trust. They were sneaky. You know what I mean? Like, talking about passive aggressive, in the physical form, you know what I mean? Of now you see me, now you don't. You know what I mean? So I mean, I agree. Definitely a B.
Yep. Closing statements. What do you got about this whole thing?
Man.
Yeah. So to the person that's thinking about taking off the hat, passing it up.
You know,
I'm almost feeling we're building a case to just go lone wolf style.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like that,
Save your money.
Not really. Again, you can. It depends on your industry and what type of work you do, but it is possible, but it'll be very difficult. Starting off, I think it can happen with friends and family, but ultimately, it's better to just go with, good candidates that can help you get to the next level. Loyalty or talented employee, the B, right? The B list, I guess you want to call it. Don't sleep on them.
No.
I guess we could make a reference of Steve Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to kind of
go
off that was a very good analogy that we were talking about.
Yeah, Steve Kerr, part of the Bulls' second three-peat. He hit some major shots. I think he has the highest percentage for three-point shooting, and that's back in the 90s. I mean, that's great. Yeah. But, the average 5 to 7, 8 points a game. I mean, not that much, but he was a good role player. And he went to the Spurs and won 2 more titles as a player. And now he's the coach of Golden State. And he's won, I think, another 4 titles. Yeah. So the longevity in his career is amazing. Yeah. It's almost like don't sleep on the people on the bench because they might be the smartest guys in the room. They might not have the talent, right, that we're saying that A has.
But look at Pippen. At that time, Jordan and Pippen were like the whoa, and I mean, respect to Pippen and everything, but he's not coaching the team.
Right. And Kerr will go to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And it just goes to show you that you don't have to be the best player on the court to make it there. You just got to put in your work, pay your dues, and you will shine. So that's a perfect example of B, that, they might not come in with all the talent and the flash, but they are able to see the vision, which is the championship.
Yep.
If you liked what we are talking about, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you want to connect with us, you can email us at connect@stonepark.com. We're on YouTube, StonePark Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, same handle. If you like real estate, please show us some love. StonePark Real Estate. And we're on all the social platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think Carlos is dancing on one of those videos.
Oh, yeah.
No, just joking. But Carlos does do all the beats. I mean, those are original beats. That is some crazy talent there.
Thank you.
Yeah. And listen, if you made it this far, you're still in the game. Like the FedEx guy told me.
That's right, man.
You're still in the game. So if you're feeling a little blue, if you're feeling that you're not going to make it, no. You are still in it. You are still in it. Me and Carlos, we care about you. You can do it. And I'm not trying to be a cheesehead here. You could do it, honestly.
The truth, man. You woke up, we have another opportunity.
For sure. For sure. Until next time, dream, build,
connect.